This is Power Lines, the show that pulls back the curtain on how power really works. Your hosts are Robbie and Terry, both 15. Every week they break down who really runs things and how regular people can push back.
Welcome back to Power Lines, the show that pulls back the curtain on how power really works. I'm Terry.
And I'm Robbie, and today we're talking about lobbying, basically the art of legally whispering in a lawmaker's ear.
Which sounds sketchy, but it's actually been around since the very beginning of the United States.
The word lobbying comes from people literally hanging out in the lobby of government buildings, waiting to catch politicians walking by.
Like waiting outside the cafeteria to ask your teacher for extra credit, except with way more money involved.
So much more money. In 2023 alone, lobbyists spent over $3.7 billion influencing Congress.
Spell that out for people. $3.7 billion is like buying every person in Los Angeles a very nice dinner.
Every single night for a week. These are not small numbers.
So who actually hires lobbyists? Is it just oil companies and cowboy hats?
Honestly, everyone. Hospitals, teachers' unions, video game companies, the dairy industry. If there's a law that could affect you, you want a lobbyist.
Which is kind of the point. The First Amendment actually protects your right to petition the government.
So lobbying itself isn't illegal or even wrong in theory. It's basically organized citizen feedback.
Very expensive, very professional citizen feedback delivered by people who used to work in the government. They're now lobbying.
That's called the revolving door, and it's a huge part of why lobbying works so well.
A former senator walks into a congressional office and suddenly everyone takes the meeting.
About half of all retiring members of Congress become lobbyists within 2 years of leaving office.
That's a wild career pivot. One day you're making laws, the next you're explaining laws to the people still making them.
For significantly better pay, I might add.
So how does a lobbyist actually change a law? Do they just hand someone a bag of money?
Not quite. Direct payments to lawmakers are bribery and very illegal. Lobbying is subtler than that.
They write policy memos, host fundraisers, take staffers to lunch, and sometimes literally draft the legislation word for word.
That last one is the part people don't realize. Lobbyists often write the actual text that ends up in a bill.
Because lawmakers are handling hundreds of issues and lobbyists are specialists who've read every technical detail.
It's efficient, if you're being charitable. If you're not being charitable, it's a little alarming.
Is there any oversight at all? Or is it just a free-for-all in nice suits?
There is. Lobbyists have to register with the government and report how much they spend and who they're contacting.
The Lobbying Disclosure Act of 1995 made that mandatory, so at least we can look it up.
Websites like opensecrets.org track all of it, so any curious person, say a 15-year-old with Wi-Fi, can see exactly who's spending what.
Which is genuinely cool. Transparency doesn't fix the power imbalance, but it's way better than nothing.
The power imbalance being that a giant pharmaceutical company can spend $50 million a year on lobbying and a regular patient cannot.
And studies show that well-funded lobbying campaigns do shift voting patterns, especially on technical issues most voters aren't watching closely.
Though researchers also find that lawmakers generally vote in line with their constituents on big, visible issues where everyone's paying attention.
So the lesson is pay attention, because sunlight is apparently the best disinfectant for politics too.
Some reformers want stricter cooling-off periods before officials can become lobbyists. Right now, it's just 2 years for senior staff.
Others want public funding for campaigns so lawmakers aren't dependent on the same donors whose lobbyists call them every week.
And some people argue lobbying just is democracy, organized groups speaking up for their interests, which is literally what the founders wanted.
The founders probably didn't picture a single pharmaceutical company spending over $300 million lobbying in 1 year, though.
Fair point. That figure is just one industry, 1 year. The whole system is enormous.
So, where do you land on it? Broken system or messy democracy doing its thing?
Honestly, probably both at once. The right to petition is sacred. The billion-dollar infrastructure around it is where it gets complicated.
What everyone seems to agree on is that an informed public is the actual check on all of it.
Which is a very convenient thing for a podcast called Power Lines to point out.
We contain multitudes. The big takeaway: lobbying is legal, it's everywhere, it's often effective, and you can follow the money yourself.
Know the rules, follow the receipts, and never underestimate how much a well-timed lunch can shape national policy.
On that slightly unsettling note, thanks for listening to Power Lines. We'll keep pulling the curtain back.
Do your own digging, stay curious, stay skeptical, and we'll see you next week on Power Lines.